Mother speaks. I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary. Well, welcome to Great Mother Speaks. I'm Tammy Taylor, your manifestation muse, and today we're talking about
your Great Mother Speaks March full moon reading. This full moon is in Leo. It is a very powerful full moon. It is the full moon that marks the halfway place of this eclipse season. This is the halfway mark, the pinnacle, the arc, the climax of this season. And we pay attention to the eclipse season here with the lunar readings from Great Mother, our still small voice, that intuition, what we know, because this channel is all about aligning our emotion, that Western astrology, that how we feel energy with the intuitive energy. And in order to do that, we do have to be aware of the difference. So the difference is the emotional heart below energy. That is about survival. That is about the continuum between fear and love, pain and joy. So that kind of relay system from the heart below chakras to the heart above chakras, which are the intuitive realm. It's the realm of the soul. Now, all of our chakras contain the yin and the yang, and so that's what the readings get into. They get into how we are supported energetically throughout these purification seasons, which are what ecliptical seasons are. This one right now with Leo in the North Node and Aquarius in the South Node has to do with following our hearts, that Leo energy, that Great Father energy ruled by the Sun, at the expense or with the group thought as an afterthought. So following one's heart, doing what you want to do first as a priority, and then considering the needs of others is really what this energy is about. It's about us being supported in pursuing what it is our heart, that crossroads between the ego and the soul, wants to do in this lifetime. And so there's been a lot of energy supporting that. Have all of us done a beautiful job at exhibiting that and at communicating that to one another? Perhaps not necessarily, but it's all in divine order, and that's what we focus on here. We focus on our divinity. 3 primary concepts: that we are divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God. The second is that we are therefore never condemned or judged. And finally, we are never left alone. There's always guidance along our path. We use the analogy of the Wizard of Oz to exemplify this. They are black and white cards, symbolizing the yin and the yang, the Great Father energy of the Sun and the Great Mother energy of the Moon, that darkness, that still small voice, that black void of the cosmos, and the Sidereal astrology, which is where Cancer is in the North Node, or Rahu at this time, and Capricorn is in the South. This is very important to know. The Great Mother, Great Father nexus that we're working with is extremely powerful. It has to do with the transition from the Piscean age to the Aquarius age. We are letting go of Aquarius energies that no longer serve us, and we're moving more into Aquarian energies that have to do with personal, individual spiritual expression. And so this ecliptical season is a series of ecliptical seasons that will usher in the Aquarius age in earnest. Great Mother is the Moon, which rules Cancer, the North Node in the Sidereal. The Sidereal astrology is the soul astrology, and this is where you hear me refer to the double houses. So, for example, if you are Leo, then more than likely your sidereal sign is Cancer, unless you're about the 5th of the people that exist that have both. Leo, etc., etc. If you want to double check, be sure to do so at the links below. While you're there, I would also like you to take a look at the Mama Drama Trauma channel. It's just getting up and going. The website is coming soon. But for those of you who are the majority that are here out of the work that I do with Mama Drama Trauma and how Great Mother came through to create this deck and to create this work to heal Mama Drama Trauma. I would really appreciate your critiques and your feedback. The channel and the website that's coming is going to be a resource for you to be able to identify, for you to be able to assess, and to get the materials that you need to support your healing of this condition. Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and/or physical trauma. In cases where she's unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is required. Loving detachment is the basis of these readings. And with these readings, we're looking at energies as impersonal energies that support divine beings, our experience. The black and white world of yin and yang is the world of infinite probabilities. It is the world, the source and center of all things. It also symbolizes the farm where Dorothy came from and from which she returned. The yellow brick road, or the rainbow world, technicolor world, is the world of reality and illusion in which we descend into in order to have experiences that evolve our soul. For Mama Drama Trauma, for example, the life lesson for soul evolution is self-love and spiritual independence. Every full moon and new moon is an opportunity to work with energies in order to achieve that here with Great Mother Speaks. For this full moon in Leo, this is the counterbalance of the Leo sun that was active during the total solar eclipse back in August. Although this is not an eclipse, it marks the halfway mark because we have up to this point had the total solar eclipse in August. Before that, the season started in earnest with a partial lunar eclipse at the beginning of August, whose moon was in Aquarius. And we have just had a partial solar eclipse whose moon was in Aquarius. But before that, there was a total lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are always during the full moon. They are cleansing, purification moons. And solar eclipses pull shadows to show us what needs to be looked at. So just this past February 15th, just recently, 2 weeks ago, you might want to check out what Great Mother was saying to you about the shadows that were being pulled out for you. That moon was in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Capricorn in the Sidereal, and Aquarius, Pisces in the Western. So it was pulling up shadows for us that had to do with that transition from the Aquarius to the Pisces age. Capricorn in the South Node in the Sidereal is a soul indication that now as we are moving into lighter, more soulful energies of Pisces and the Aquarius genius energy of individual expression, which is a higher expression than Leo, but in the South Node and the Western, it's a balancing of paying attention too much to this physical world and being able to relax in the reality of our divinity. If that sounds like a little bit too much, let's unwrap it here and let's talk a little bit more about the rainbow world in which we exist. It's full of planets, it's full of chakras that assist us in the centrifugal forces of these energies in our bodies that ground our soul energy here. What I'm going to do is pull a card for each sign. This is going to be an indication for you of how Great Mother is working with you this March full moon. This halfway mark has to do with this energy going more into self-expression, heart expression, and releasing the group on an ego level, and deeper going into the Cancer, Rahu, North Node level of using that individual expression to be more caring, to have more solidly grounded homes, solidly grounded mothering, self-care, and releasing the need for so much order and so much structure that is resisting or blocking our ability to do so. For your sign, there's going to be a different message that Great Mother comes to you about this particular halfway mark. Because as we move into the rest of the season, which ends in November, we have one more total lunar eclipse in July, and we have a partial solar eclipse in August, closing things out. Now, the season began in earnest back in May of 2017. What was happening for you 9 months ago? An eclipse season is 18 months, so we're at that 9-month mark. What was happening for you and perhaps to you May of last year? Collectively, Venus had just left Aries, and it had been in Aries back and forth with Pisces in retrograde for a couple of months. And when it finally left, a lot of us had come to a realization about some things that we perhaps had known, but the truth was going to take us some time to process, particularly in the areas of personal relationships and what our personal needs were. This was the entry point into this Cancer Leo North Node energy that started in earnest with the lunar eclipse at the beginning of August in Aquarius. What this means is that as the nodes shifted from Virgo Pisces, ordering our emotions into being clear about those emotions, and the purification, which opened up this eclipse season back in August, was purifying what was from the previous eclipse season that needed to be clarified in terms of our spirituality, in terms of our higher knowing, in terms of what we knew we needed in order to have internal balance. And so as this eclipse season opened, I want you to kind of think about where you were with that. Because now, since the shadows have been revealed and purified throughout this eclipse season, be sure to watch the first quarter video for this year, January through March, if you haven't been keeping up with what's going on, because the second quarter videos are about to be released for April through June. See what Great Mother was saying to you the beginning of this year with regard to where you are now. Because this reading, this halfway mark reading, is very important. It is the reflection of what the cleansing period has been coming up to this point of self-clarity, of self-desire, how to use that in mature and loving ways for yourself and for your home, which is the foundation of outward expression, that Aquarius energy, okay? With now the supportive energies being available for us to implement and to manifest our will from that foundation. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Virgo, Libra Moon people. This is your March full moon 2018 reading in Leo. Leo, this is the full moon reading for Leo this year. Leo has been in full moon mode before. It was a Cancer Leo full moon during the total lunar eclipse January 31st. And so we had the Cancer in the Sidereal and Leo in the Western. But now it's Leo, Leo, and it's actually in its proper opposing sign position from a Pisces, the Pisces sun that we're in now. It's Aquarius Pisces sun, Aquarius in the Sidereal. Of course, Aquarius is, an energy that really is active at this time. And for you, the loving, supportive energies in the cosmos right now, of course, they're always loving, supportive energies in all aspects. But what we are focusing on here is where you can actually feel those and focus on them in terms of your divinity, so you can actually feel that divine love from Great Mother, Father, God, where that is really coming through for your celestial collective consciousness, and the opportunities to release judgments and condemnations of yourself, and to really know where your guidance is in supporting you to do that with your angels, your guides, and your ancestors. That's what these readings really focus on. If you want more specifics with regard to your personal lunar position in your natal chart, I would encourage a personal reading as well as for any specific personal issues in health, finances, or career, because these readings are based on the first house lunar position of your collective celestial unconsciousness, that internal space. And for you being in the first house of Libra Virgo, this Leo moon is in your 12th and 11th houses, because from the Virgo, the Leo is in the 12th house, and from the Western, it's in the 11th. And so again, we have that Aquarius energy working with us in the Western, as it's very active now in the South Node. So your personal readings are also going to look at your nodes. Those are governed by the moon. You have your own personal north and south node. This is just the collective right now, north node in Leo, where the sun is, south node in Aquarius, which is your position from Leo right now. And that means that issues with your public image, your public presentation, how you are interacting socially with groups, maybe friends, is on the agenda right now for you. And so you're approaching this full moon with issues of telling yourself the truth. Either you are having difficulty doing that, telling yourself the truth about what groups are supportive of you, that do make you feel loved and accepted for who you are, and that you're receiving the guidance that you need in your daily life, or you're supported and encouraged to follow your highest guidance. Or you are in a situation in your life where you are shining the light on your relationships with your friends, with groups, with people, in such a way that you're able to express your truth, and it's being heard, it's being appreciated, it's being supported. And so that's how you're approaching this full moon, Virgo, Libra moon people. You're approaching it with a truly sincere sense of grace and mercy, or you're desiring more of that grace and mercy in your life in order to stand in your personal truth. The transformative opportunity for this full moon period for you, of course, full moon is the illumination. It's the bringing forth of everything that's come forth in this lunar phase thus far. And so what Great Mother is saying is that since the crescent moon phase, you have had a great deal of opportunity to awaken to that personal truth. And so since the partial solar eclipse, which was the new moon back in just February, 2 weeks ago, you have had an opportunity to really look at fifth and sixth house issues, which is where the sun is now. So there's a real emphasis on your creativity. There's a real emphasis on your personal expression and how you were doing that in your daily life, how you are doing that in your relationships with people at home and at work, and that work-life balance. Are you being the same person at home as you are at work, and vice versa, in a way that allows you to fully express that integrity? So we have integrity in the balsamic moon position, which would indicate right before the new moon. Okay, you're receiving intuitive downloads about what your truth is, what it is specifically with regard to your personal expression as you are interacting with groups of people at home and at work. And then the new moon, you might want to look at that partial solar eclipse video to see what Great Mother was saying to you at that time, because we have the phase right before the new moon and right after this crescent moon as your transformative opportunity now in planting a new seed based on that awakening, based on that awareness. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy enters Munchkinland and immediately the purple ball descends from the hills, and that's Glinda, who symbolizes Great Mother, coming to her, asking her, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch? The Munchkins want to know." And so there's an awakening that you've had with regard to the munchkins in your life, the people that are surrounding you, familiar and some strange and new, and they want to know who you truly are. Virgo, Libra moon people, they want to truly know what makes you tick, what really makes you who you are. And that is how you are approaching this full moon. You're coming to full illumination about that and telling yourself the truth about that so you can share it with others. Great Mother is saying, do not overlook the openness that you are providing yourself and others by doing that. This is a heart chakra waning gibbous moon card, and the waning gibbous moon is right after the full moon, and so this is indicating that right after this full moon there will be an ever expanding openness of your heart chakra. Of course, Jupiter is in your moon sign of Scorpio in the Western astrology, and it is a energy that Jupiter is in the Libra sign in your sidereal astrology. And so on a soul level, there is an expansion, there is an abundance, beneficial energy that is allowing you to be more open to your intuitive guidance, even though it might be a little scary. This is the scene after Oz tells the three what they must do to receive their wishes. Bring back the witch's broom, to which the lion responds by jumping out of the window of the castle. So he doesn't say he's not going to go, but he's afraid. And so when we are embarking on a new journey, particularly an internal journey within ourselves for the clarity, balance, and confirmation that we need, it can be a little scary. And Great Mother is saying, by sharing, by having gratitude with that truth of who you are, it's going to expand you and open up that deeper sense of knowing what your inner balance is, what your inner truth is, knowing what type of partnerships, what type of social groups to really connect with. And you will download and you'll be able to intuit that. And that might be a little scary because it's so new. The heart chakra is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. So this is very strong ego-soul communication. Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook. You are receiving guidance about the groups that are supportive of your truth, these social circles that are encouraging you to follow that truth and to shine your light this Leo full moon, which is all about expressing the will within us as a culmination of all the lessons that we've learned up to this point in this eclipse season. It's a wonderful halfway point for you because this is indicating that the creativity that you are wanting to explore in your daily life does have to do with you opening yourself up more to yourself and who you are and what you're about and your relationships with people. This is the scene where Dorothy returns to the farm after her journey, and she's recognizing all the people who were there with her in her journey. She was saying, you were there and you were there. And of course, Professor Marvel was Oz and Hickory was the Scarecrow, and et cetera, et cetera. This is eternal grace and mercy. And so solar eclipses pull shadows for us to be able to see what is the underbelly jelly of what's going on in our lives. And so that February new moon pulled those shadows out for you in your 4th and 5th houses. And so where you were needing to, in your 5th and 6th houses, pulled those shadows out for you in your 5th and 6th houses where you were needing to see where you might want to be a little bit more creative in your daily life, where you might want to have a little bit more fun. And that's the truth that's being regenerated for you and recultivated for you. There were some areas that were not allowing you to do that were blocking you. And so what Great Mother wants to show you now is how those shadows have come up. And this full moon is going to offer the purification of those shadows that came up for you. Okay, so the shadows that came up have to do with a need to spend more time outside. So maybe part of the work-life balance is simply having more oxygen flow through your body's system. That's 6th house energy, right? The health of the body, that kind of Virgo energy. And so Pachamama is a another waning gibbous moon card, but this is root chakra. So this has to do with the sharing and the thanksgiving from the full illumination of truth, okay? That has to do with regrounding yourself in nature and your elemental sense. So earthing, perhaps. You're needing to actually have some sunlight on your body, even if you're in a cold area. Just going outside when the sun is its highest during the day and just kind of allowing yourself to just kind of stand there and breathe it in. Okay, even if you can't do that, standing outside under a covered area for about 5 minutes and breathe it in the air and just looking at the sun, no matter how dim it is, and letting that course through your system. It's very important that you do that at this particular time to keep regenerating that energy, that ego soul alignment energy, that ego aligning with the more expansive nature and energy that is your life source, that you're consciously connecting with that. She's saying that this is going to allow you to express yourself more fully. And you are actually doing that right now. And you may not realize that you are, and that it is a wonderful thing, because the card of Akhenaten is a Yang Great Father Law card, which indicates the law of mystery and divine order. That's when we are expressing ourselves, that Yang energy, in a way that others may not understand or appreciate. This is a third quarter moon card, which indicates a need for release, forgiveness, and letting go of the misunderstandings that others may have with regard to your newfound integrity. So again, maybe there are new groups that you are gravitating towards that are better able to support who you are now as opposed to in the past, and that is okay. The Great Mother is saying, yes, that is a shadow that may at this time be making you feel that you aren't supported, that you are not a dearly loved child of the Great Mother, Father God, that something is wrong with you and wrong with your creative expression that you have brought out from all of these eclipses, shadows, and purifications, and you've purified yourself to the point where you know what you know you know. Just like Akhenaten, he's the first ruler on the planet to institute the worship of the one God. Imagine how courageous that must have been back then, when even today the priesthood has problems with individuals having their own relationship with God. Their own type of spirituality, their own connection with God. He was the first proponent of that on a state level. And so the indication for you is that you have a unique expression of your own integrity, of your own truth, that may in some ways be soliciting the same reaction from others. And that is simply who you are. That's the Yang. This is a root chakra card again. That's how you are grounding yourself. Your soul is grounding itself through your actual physical being. And you're aligning with that and planting that seed in the planet right now. And we don't know what the outcome's going to be. We just know that we're loved and we're never condemned and we're never alone. And that's all we need to know. That's the law of mystery and divine order. In order to really feel that and to work with that energy, with this Leo full moon to support you in cultivating that seed, Great Mother is encouraging the release of a tendency to want to sell out your intuition, what you know, for your survival needs. He was forced out of Thebes and had to move to Ankara, a whole different place, and start a whole different palace and kingdom, because the scribes, would not align with his new mission. Where is it in your life that you feel perhaps so threatened by the group, or maybe even on a soul level you might be feeling some alienation, and it really does feel like people that are very close to you, soul group types of people, soulmate people, are isolating you, and that's indicated by this 12th house energy. This 12th house from the Sidereal, where we have that Virgo energy, that places Leo in the 12th house. And so that might be something that you're experiencing. Maybe you are imprisoned some way, on timeout, in other words, in some way from a group. Maybe you've been blocked out of a social networking group or community that used to be very active in, or you're hospitalized. This flu season has been particularly challenging for many people. And that's indicated by these energies because when we go through this houses, the circle from 1 to 12, when we get to that 12, that means that we are truly at the end of an evolutionary cycle. And an evolutionary cycle is a soul cycle. And since this is in your 12th house in your sidereal from the Virgo, then on a soul level, that intuition, remember, intuition is how the soul communicates to the ego. Emotion is how the ego communicates to the soul. And so it's saying that with this crescent moon 5th chakra card, being at the crossroads does not mean that you have to give up something of value in order to keep something of lesser value. In other words, what's of true value is that which is lasting, which is our soul. And the ego body, although it is where we focus our sensory perception, because we do have to operate in this physical world, we forget that we also need to operate in our inner world in a way in which we always remember we're divine children. Just like in the scene in The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy's in the witch's castle and she's trying to take her shoes, but she can't, and she gets shocked. That is that inner lasting truth. No one can take your birthright of being happy, healthy, and whole as a divine child, even if we want to let them. She, after this happened, and the witch said, okay, well, I'm going to get those shoes, and this is your end. She went off to devise Dorothy's demise. Dorothy said, no, she was threatening to kill Toto and everything if you don't give me those shoes. She said, take the shoes, but give me Toto. Toto symbolizes Dorothy's intuition in The Wizard of Oz. And so sometimes we're willing to give up our inner knowing, our inner selves, especially when it's related to our social group, our daily lives, our routine, that predictable part of us that makes us feel safe, that makes us feel grounded. That's why Great Mother is saying, go outside and you take the initiative to ground yourself in Gaia, the variant energy of Great Mother that supports your very physical being on this planet. Feel it. Feel its perpetual, persistent, and consistent, permanent support of you. Feel it. Let that be your basis of safety and security, with the ground, tree, sea, and fairies. No matter what the weather is, no matter what's going on, allow the fairies to surround you, all the little garden and nature angels that are out in whatever season to beautify the land and to support us and breathe life into us and help to purify our oxygen and to feel all of that and be grateful for all of that. You have these waning gibbous moon cards that are about that phase right after the full moon, that full illumination of truth. Okay, and you have it in the heart chakra and the root chakra, this heart below energy, the heart chakra down, this gut energy, awakening to who you truly are, okay, is about grounding your physical body and not relying on others to be that grounding for you. Libra is a masculine sign, but it's ruled by Venus. So you have a very good yin-yang balance, and that is your moniker, I balance. And so it's a challenge. Our greatest gifts are our greatest challenges. And so Great Mother is saying that the balance for you lies in holding on to that inner wisdom, regardless of what social circumstances may appear to be. by focusing on that inner balance, because that is going to attract to you those individuals that will be with you throughout your journey. Okay, just as these individuals were with Dorothy throughout hers. That's going to attract those individuals to you. And again, for some of you, you may already be enjoying those individuals in your life right now. What Great Mother is saying is that by embodying this law of aligning your ego and your soul, learning to live the law, and the law has to do with trusting that gut chakra, that instinctual, that survival unction, that visceral response that's telling you, this is good for me, this is not good for me, or you were there, I see you here now, acting like you don't remember, but you have been on the rainbow road with me, the yellow brick road in the rainbow world with me, and now you're here back with me at the source and center of it all. Don't we return together to our soul group as we learn and evolve together here in the rainbow world? This is what your gut knows. Our egos know that. It's just that they're not properly trained through the law to constantly stay in alignment from the rainbow world with the source and center. And that's what we do here on the Great Mother Speaks channel. We stay aligned with that sense of being dearly loved and divine. The Moses card is the scene when Dorothy is being awarded by the mayor of Munchkinland for killing the Wicked Witch of the West. And this little girl from Kansas is like, what? These little people are happy that I killed somebody? This is awful, but okay, thank you. She has no idea that she has just devoured the terrible mother, who will meet her again and again along her journey until she destroys her. But the Munchkins, that's why they were glad, because they were ready to accept that she had destroyed her. They knew she had been terrorizing them, but Dorothy had yet to recognize who she was. She was Miss Gulch reincarnated, who met her there in Munchkinland after the twister, followed her wherever she went. And isn't that what happens with Mama Drama Trauma? It follows us our entire lives, no matter where we go, no matter how far we travel, from a black and white world to a technicolor world, to a rainbow world, yellow brick world. It follows and follows us until we destroy that sense of abandonment and abuse that establishes itself as a point of survival. We hold on to it. And what Great Mother is saying is that by facilitating the alignment of the survival mechanism to hold on to toxicity with a higher sense of divinity, you will learn the law to accept your rewards. She couldn't accept the reward that the mayor was offering because she didn't know she was worthy. You're worthy, Great Mother is saying. You're worthy of the support and the love of others to express your truth. This is a heart chakra card as well, the integrity card when she returns home. And the heart chakra card of being open to your journey, whether you're afraid or not, is the waning gibbous moon card here. So after the full moon, there seems to be some indication that there's going to be a process that begins in earnest with the new moon in Aries. That new moon will be coming up in about 2 weeks. And as always, these readings do feed one into the other as a process. And you might want to start thinking about your new moon wishes for Aries. Issues around Aries have to do with leadership. They have to do with being the point person for groups. And so maybe as you work through these issues and you assert your integrity now, and also into the balsamic moon period right before this new moon, and trusting your heart about who you are and what you truly are about, telling yourself the truth, you'll be ready to dispel any illusions around you, around abandonment and abuse of others, personally and professionally, so that you can pull the curtain, as Toto did in this scene of The Wizard of Oz, and truly see from your third eye, that antenna being connected to your gut, that ego-soul alignment. Great Mother has spoken. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, sharing, and liking. And remember, Great Mother loves you. And I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole,